Be on your best behavior.
Yeah.
All right, so obviously we all know each other. My name's Brett. Yes, we do all know each other.
Howdy.
And I'm going to tell you the purpose of this focus group. So I'm conducting this to get your general opinions on a topic that has been a hot debate over the past year or so. And we all know the amount of superhero and comic book movies being released. So the question I'm going to ask you guys, if you think this trend will continue, and if they will, do you think the popularity of these movies will continue to be as great as they are? So first, please introduce yourselves and tell everyone the estimate of the number of superhero and comic book movies you've seen. Just give a rough estimate, just a number. So go ahead.
Hi, my name is Taylor Evans, and I've seen all of them.
I'm Devin Reevesteck, and I've probably seen bits and pieces of them. I can't sit through an entire movie.
All right, so superhero movies overall, what are some advantages of, what are some good parts about them?
They're action-y, they're funny, they do a lot of cool stuff that people wish that they could do.
Can I say? I believe they're a lot of the same things Taylor said. They're action-packed. They are good for all ages for the most part, and they usually have good storylines in them as well. And like I said, they're pretty much, for the most part, all age appropriate.
All right, how about some disadvantages, if you can think of any?
There are no disadvantages of superhero movies.
I really can't think of any large disadvantages of the movies at this time. No, I do not.
Okay, that's perfectly okay.
Okay, Dr. Phil.
Thank you. So what is your favorite part about it, the genre?
Probably the action sequences.
Action.
I really enjoy the action sequences as well.
I like the parts where the superheroes actually use their power, because in a superhero movie they do it sometimes, but most of the time it's just story builder. Mm-hmm. But then they actually do their superpower during the fight scenes and stuff.
They actually show off what they actually can do.
Yeah.
All right. I guess the next question I'm going to ask, what's your least favorite part about the genre?
Romance. This is a superhero movie.
I'm sorry, I'm not stealing your ideas. I think all movies that throw in romance just kind of ruins the whole thing. So I agree with that.
All right. Anything else? Here I have do they, at some parts, do they become too repetitive? They introduce them, they get, the bad guy comes in, the bad guy kind of beats him, but then the good guy beats him in the end.
Yeah.
That's honestly my biggest beef with superhero movies. Someone asked me, have you seen such and such superhero movies? Since I'm not too familiar with them, I get so confused because they're all about the same to me. Mm-hmm. They're all about the same, and they just really run together. And then there's sometimes when I go and see a superhero movie, it's brand new, and I'm sitting there and I could have swore I've seen this before.
Also, do you think there's too many movies at this point or not?
No, there can't be enough.
Okay.
Because if people like a genre, then why not make as many movies as you can about it? As long as the movies don't start to suck.
We will get to that at a later point in this focus group.
All right.
So you don't worry about that. Why do you think they've been so popular to this point?
Because who doesn't like superheroes? Who doesn't want to be a superhero? Who doesn't want superpowers?
Some people don't want superpowers.
Crazy people.
I think they've been really popular recently because a lot of times they are remakes, so the adults are wanting to go back and look at the movies remade, and then of course they're bringing their kids with them. Mm-hmm. And when they're bringing their kids to the movies, it's getting them interested in the film as well.
Plus they're big budget movies, so there's a lot of big things that happen that a small budget movie couldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
All the crap, I just lost what I was gonna say. All the special effects.
Yeah, kind of
stuff.
In Man of Steel when they destroy the entire town. You don't see that in real life. Let's go see it in a movie.
So a lot better than some Diane Keaton movie.
So you guys kind of touched on the different generations bringing their kids.
Yes.
With the superhero or with the Superman movies from the 80s, they're remaking them, they wanted to kind of see how it was different, so they bring their kids, and then the kids get into
Yeah.
it and just stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then plus a lot of people have read the comic books, and then they want to come and see the movie thing.
People still read comic books.
I read.
If you have thoughts, please share them with the entire class.
I didn't know people still read comic books.
I still read comic books.
Maybe, or what are your thoughts on like the emotions that like the movies bring on? Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say with that, but like,
I think
especially with little kids, how like, I don't know if like they like idolize them as much, but
when a kid or like someone goes and sees a movie, it's back to the whole thing about people wish that they had superpowers. It was like, I know it was off topic, but it's like Avatar. How when that movie came out, there was a bunch of little kids that had to be like diagnosed for depression because they couldn't go to Pandora. So
It's like, come on, let's go buy mom a new charm for her bracelet. No!
the awkward silence when no one says anything and they're watching a person, right? Okay, how do you think they could be improved? So like, or keep them going, because how they want to keep them going for as long as they want. So like, obviously they're gonna have to bring in different characters, but do you think that will detract from their popularity? Because like with Iron Man, everyone knows him as Robert Downey Jr. But if they start like a new storyline with Iron Man, they'll obviously have to bring in another one.
I think that's fine after like a set amount of time. But kind of like the Spider-Man movies, how they came out with the first three with, I can't remember his name, but then they just came out with the new ones with Andrew Garfield, I think. And then now he's already done, and they're bringing in another Spider-Man. So,
Okay.
like, I think after a certain amount of time, you can start remaking them without people being too concerned about who Spider-Man is or who the actor is.
Do you have any?
The only thing I can think to keep them popular, to keep superheroes popular, is just to, like he said, keep on bringing in new actors and actresses, and to keep on making the movies and keeping them relevant to younger generations. Like, you can't just keep on, like, they won't stay popular if you just keep these old movies hanging around and you never make new movies.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I'm sure if we watch the original Hulk films, I've seen bits and pieces of that, you watch it, and to me, it's like, this sucks. Like, this is awful. It's just like some 6'4" guy with green paint all over him.
Well, kind of going along with that, they kind of have to adapt to like how technology changes,
Yes.
and then that brings along the sci-fi part and special effects. So I think they have to keep up with that, but that will also mean bigger budgets, and if they can get the money and that type of stuff.
But I think the bigger budgets that they have, the more relatable they can make it to the actual comics.
Yeah.
Because in the comics, you can just draw a picture and do whatever you want. But in the movies, you're just like, oh, that's super cheesy. But then once good special effects come in, then you get blown away.
Definitely. Probably you'll have the same thoughts on this, but like telling different stories, do you think they'll be able to get away with telling the same stories? Or do you think they have, because obviously in the comics they have so many different storylines and different versions of each character. So what do you think about that?
The way I think about it is that the movies are their own independent thing. The comic books are their thing. Comic book people do whatever they want. The movies can like relate back to the comics or like use the same characters kind of stuff. But they're their own story.
Okay.
They're their own retelling. Like, the director's basically making his own live-action comic book. So the story that he chooses, it might not be, like, canon towards the comic books, but it's its own thing. It's kind of like fan fiction, I guess.
I already say just the superhero films are just already really bad about being repetitive. And if that's really answering your question, I already think it's there, the repetitions. They're all saying to me, it seems like the end of the movie always ends up with some city like Los Angeles or New York being completely destroyed.
That is true. Which, yeah.
In newer, bigger, better ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last movie I remember, I can't remember which one it was again, they all run it together, but it was some big snake thing just crashing through
The
Avengers.
Oh, was it the Avengers? I don't know where this snake thing came from, but it was like floating, it was like crashing through the buildings, and as they're trying to fight off the other people, you just see this freaking snake thing. Like, is anyone gonna do anything about this?
That's funny. All right. Last question. How would you convince someone to go and see these type of movies that had like no interest whatsoever?
I mean, if they don't want to see it, they don't want to see it. That's on them, but...
Okay, kind of like on the fence about it. Like, I don't know if I want to see it. Like, how would you convince someone?
I would convince them by saying, come out and watch the movie with us. What else are you going to do? Sit in your room and do absolutely nothing tonight?
Or would you like to go out and actually socialize?
Exactly. That's how I would do it.
Or, like, you can tell them, like, okay, do you like to see stuff blown up? They're like, well, yeah, who doesn't like to see stuff blown up? Come see a superhero movie.
Most likely stuff's going to get blown up.
Directed by Michael Bay.
I couldn't remember his name. It was something Bay. What was that?
Bay. Directed by Bay.
Bay.
All right. Is there anything else you guys would like to talk about concerning this that we did not?
Wow, that wasn't the
discuss?
last question. That's the last question.
Well, there's actually one more.
Oh. Anything what?
That we didn't talk about that you would like to touch on. It's okay if you say no.
No, okay.
Okay. I have to ask this question. Sorry. How could this like be improved? Like, how could this focus group been improved? Or do you have any like thoughts and comments about it?
Like music in the background. Probably be a lot better.
Okay.
We can put like inspirational feel-good music for whenever we're going on monologues.
I think we need like a ficus plant, like you see in all the public broadcasting films, or some kind of, fake or half-dead plant.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Maybe a poster of like a cat that's like hanging there.
More decorations.
Yeah.
We'll just make it broad.
So
Instead
it's
of like a
it's
jail
this
cell.
pea soup green from 1980 something board behind us.
That we can't even write on because
I know, no chalk. Well, everyone else has been writing up on the walls, so I probably just took the chalk away. Like a bunch of kindergartners, they can't handle the chalk. We gotta take it away.
Anything else?
No.
No, that's all I
think
have
we're
right
good.
now. Unless
All
you have
right.
more questions.
I am good. I'm just gonna get up now and turn off the camera.
That wasn't 5 minutes.
Yes, it was.